What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MoonWell today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. There's been a few of you that have requested this over the past couple of days, and I've noticed. Okay, so we're gonna talk about it right now. Here we are at about 2.27 cents, looking like we're at a key area to find support, you guys. Actually, a very key area to find support indeed. Don't be discouraged at all if you break through this line. You already have broken through that line, though, to be completely fair. So, hey, that's not bad. Good. You ripped the Band-Aid off. You got it over with. Oftentimes, you don't find support at these lines. I mean, maybe the first time, maybe the second time, but on the third time, you do break through, and it's oftentimes right below that you find support there. So, hey, classic. Could you go lower? Absolutely, you could. But let's see. Let's see here. I'm sorry, I've got to clear my throat out. From a low to a high, you went to the golden ratio there and went up to a slightly higher high. Nothing crazy. Huh. From a high to a low, yeah, kind of volatile, very volatile, but that's okay. I mean, where you found support is in an area that you'd find support based on that diagonal line there, which diagonal lines don't matter too much, but this horizontal line, this one on a resistance basis, prior resistance, prior support, even right here for a week, that's not bad, closing right at that level there. And even if we go down to the wick itself, you went down to the closing levels here. So closed at the wicks, wicked at the closes. Not bad, man. Not bad at all. And this closed too as well. I don't know what to think of this. I mean, I'm not bearish on it. I'm definitely not bearish on it. I don't know what to think of you. Where to draw fibs from. So you know what? I'm not gonna draw fibs. Let's do this instead. Let's just look at the daily. I want to look at the weekly RSI first. Weekly RSI, lower lows in the RSI, a double bottom. Nice. At an area you found support before, you found support before, you found support before, and every single time that you found support here, you went up. You went up, but you are gonna go up. Where you going? You know where you're going. 2.2724. That's the current price right now. Hold on, y'all. Get that connected there. If this is the low, and it might be, let's actually keep doing some work before we actually determine that. The daily RSI, the weekly RSI looks nice, but the daily RSI is not convincing yet. Technically, you still are in a downtrend. Lower lows, lower highs like this. You absolutely could reject from here and go lower. And if you were, this weekly RSI still looks good. It still does look good, but you could go lower in the meantime and still, or maybe even form some kind of slightly higher low, slightly lower low, something like that, and still close the week above where you opened it or something like that, right? That could happen as well. So, volatility is the name of the game with this thing, apparently. So don't be surprised if you do go down. You are still in the downtrend in this relative position in the RSI and in the daily price and in the daily RSI. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour looks bullishly postured, but again, not completely convincing yet. The 4-hour is not everything. You do have a bull flag here, but as I was just saying in my Bitcoin video, right, that looks like a flagpole, that looks like a flag there. Bull flags are generally bullish patterns that break out to the upside, but when you're in a downtrend, bullish patterns have a weaker tendency to break out to the upside. Oftentimes they're invalid, right? Like this would have been a bullish pennant right here, but what did you do? Instead of breaking out to the upside, broke out to the downside. Why? Well, on the 4-hour basis, you're in a downtrend. Okay, so that happens. Here, you had a bull flag right here from a flagpole here, and then here's your flag right there, right? When you broke out, you did go higher, but you didn't meet your measure move. You weren't even close to meeting your measure move. And why? Because you're in a downtrend. So bullish patterns have a harder time in downtrends, right? And you haven't officially broken this downtrend, right? Not on the 4-hour basis, not on the daily basis, not on, I guess, on the weekly basis, you're actually maintaining your uptrend, to be completely fair. So you could go lower. Don't be surprised if you do. You might form some kind of like W shape here, something like this, where you do something like that. You could go even lower than this low, and don't be upset if that happens. All right, I want to see how much of a percentage drop would that be from here, because I am expecting the average coin to drop about 20 to 30%. So hey, that yeah, I don't know if you have to go lower, MoonWell. You actually might hold support, and from there you might moon very well. In fact, I'm sure I'm not the first person to make that joke. 22723 right now cents. With the prospects of probably going down to 1.9 cents, 1.8 cents, or even down to 1.61 cents, somewhere in that area. If not, if you do go lower, and I'm going to just genuinely say I don't think that you do, but if you do go lower, maybe 1.27 cents, maybe 1 cent itself at the lowest, but I have a hard time seeing you go lower than this low here, actually. So that's good. Okay, So now that we've established that this is a potential low and a possible low, it's not validated yet, but I'm convinced enough at least. If you want to validate this as a low, what you would need to do essentially is break this downtrend, form an uptrend where you're getting higher highs and higher lows. So essentially you need to get all the way up to 5.2 cents, but you're at 2.2 cents now. If you don't want to wait for an over 100% move, then maybe instead just look for a higher low around 1.73 cents, 1.5 cents itself, 1.6 cents, somewhere in there. After you get a higher low, look for a higher high and in turn a breakout of this downtrend. If you can break out of this downtrend, you have a higher low and a higher high. I think it's bright as day at that point that this is the low. But if you want complete validation, getting above the golden ratio would really do it for me. At that point, you're well above this downtrend in the price, and you're probably forming a new uptrend at that point. So, but that's just so far away. I don't think. I mean, generally, I do like to see the golden ratio. It's confirmation of any low. I don't know if we need it on this, but it is still essential. Don't get me wrong. That'll be a very big deal. Breaking above 5.2 cents. That will be a very big deal when that day happens. On another note, it's very common when you find resistance at the 236 like this that you come back down and find support at the 069. But even if you were to go lower, you would at least hit the 382 area before going lower. Very common does not mean that it has to happen. You could, of course, just drop through the floor at any point in time, but again, I don't think it's going to happen. What I think is really exciting about this thing is when it comes time to going higher, I think that you will see phenomenally higher targets, right? You're at 2.2722 cents right now. 19.5 cents to 39 cents would be your target destination, man. That's your next target destination. Unless you are in some kind of diagonal pattern, in which case you might not, as you did not hit your 1272 here, right? If we look at this high to low right here, that recent high to this low here, you didn't even hit your 1272. Perhaps on this next move up, you don't even hit your 1272, and that's weird. That's weird to happen, but sometimes in these diagonals, you respect the moves similarly in the fibs. So maybe you do stop at like 16 cents. But even from here, even from the current price, let alone from a lower price, I mean, that's a decent growth, man. We're talking about like a 7x, maybe an 8x, and maybe at most something that's on the lines of like a 17x could be coming your way. MoonWell, that's pretty awesome, man. I think that's pretty awesome. Let's see what's Well's market cap here, just to validate all this. Let's see. 74 million. And also, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but you see how it says CoinMarketCap has not verified this project's market cap. They normally do, so whenever it's not, just be aware you could be in some kind of rug pull scam. And I'm not saying that this thing is a rug pull. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't know anything about it, right? It's on you as an investor to have knowledge about your investments. Look into it. All you got to do is go on CoinMarketCap, click on it, type in well, MoonWell. Make sure you're checking out the right well. And then once it loads, you click on the white paper or the website. Let's just see if they actually have a white paper. Yeah, cool. We've actually got a white paper. Good. Oftentimes when you click on that, or not too often, but sometimes they do not actually have a white paper, right? And the website, read all about it, man. Read all about it. I'm not going to do that here, but from the current market cap, the assumed market cap of 74.5 million, this leaves the door open for a lot of potential, you guys. This coin is 100xable. It is multi-100xable. You could see, I mean, at a $7.5 billion market cap, that's a 100x in price. That would put you at $2.27. And you don't have to stop there, man. $7.5 billion is a very attainable market cap to have. That's not anything crazy to ask for at all, let alone 15 billion or 30 billion, right? Those are very possible targets as well. This thing is definitely multi-100xable. Now, does that mean that it will multi-100x? Of course not. That doesn't mean that it will. I'm just saying that it can, right? So if you have high aspirations for this thing, just understand those are valid aspirations, but it's completely possible that this thing by the end of the cycle, it only, boo-hoo, sees a 30x. It only sees a 66x. It only sees, okay, well then we're talking about 100x and beyond. But I'm just saying it doesn't have to do any of this stuff. But assuming that you haven't really let loose the goose at all this cycle, this is just you moving up bullishly against the rest of the market while the rest of the market's been actually rather bearish and stagnant. You're actually forming good structure. I can't wait to see how you perform when the market actually does kick off, whenever alt season does begin. I think that you'll see bigger moves than you ever have this cycle, and that's saying something, right? That's not a small statement that I just made there. From a low to a high of this move here, you saw a 15x, a 15.5x. From the low to the high of this move here, that was an 11x. Your next move could be bigger than either of them. It could be bigger than both of them put together. Like it could be a 20 or a 30 something x, genuinely. I don't know enough about this token. You are finding key support at key areas. The structure of it looks nice. I'm kind of interested. In fact, I might have to pay attention to this one a little bit more. I'm going to write it down. I know we've talked about it before, but it's been a while since we talked about it. And again, just because I'm interested in it by the charts does not mean that you have to be interested in it or you should be interested in it, right? Look into it, see if it's something that you can get behind. I'll look into it a little bit more too. But it's a DEX or it's a DeFi token, lending made simple. I like DeFi. I like DeFi tokens, you guys. I think DeFi is good, but not every coin that is DeFi is going to do well, but this one does seem to be set up in the right way. So I've got nothing else to say. I'm going to end the video there. If you guys like the video, hit the like button, subscribe. I do believe that you go a little bit lower first, but don't be mistaken, man. You're probably not going to be down at this area for too long. Don't be afraid of a 20 to 30% drop. Don't even be afraid of a lower low than this, but I think that's your low. I'm pretty confident that's your low. Again, if we look back here, you found your low here, but you still returned to prices around that area 3 weeks later, or 2 weeks later. So it's nothing to be concerned with. Here, you hung out in this area for a little bit, hung out in this area. You know what I mean? It's nothing to be concerned with if you come back down. It's just a better buying opportunity. And for those of you with courage, with tenacity, with brass balls or brass whatevers, it's an opportunity to be seized. Okay, so hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.